Welcome back to the Vandy Sports Podcast. I'm Joey Dwyer. She's Elena Morris. We're here from Memorial Gym after Vanderbilt's 86-61 loss to Tennessee. Bad weekend for Vandy hoops. 60 points combined between the losses yesterday between men's basketball against Tennessee and women's today against Tennessee. And this one was over pretty quickly. Vanderbilt kind of made some counter punches late, but went down 30-15 in the first quarter and allowed Tennessee to shoot 76% from the field in the first quarter. And Elena, I don't know how you win like that. Shea Ralph kind of attributed it to just giving them open shots. He said they played one of their worst games today, and Tennessee played one of their best. Hard to argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say much about it when you are giving a team. I mean, shooting, they shot 52%, I think, from the total game, so something like that. It's hard to beat anybody like that. And she talked about it too. You're not going to win many games when you're giving up 86 points. They played one of their worst games defensively and offensively, so it's really hard to overcome a performance like that and expect to get good things.
Yeah, and I think you just kind of see the difference between these teams. The margin for error was really small for Vandy and Knoxville, and I think a lot of people thought that Vandy would win this game. I was always a little skeptical just because of that. I think, again, margin for error really small. Iona Moore was really good today. Jordan Cambridge was 6 for 20, and with the way their front court is undermanned against a team like Tennessee, I think it's going to be really difficult for them to beat a team like that. In front of a big orange, or I guess baby blue crowd today, they're going to have a really hard time finding ways to win. You just look at the rebounding battle, 36-43, Tennessee won it. And Shea Ralph really said, I don't know that there's that many statistical categories. Vanderbilt just missed so many open shots around the bucket. Camille Pierre was 0 for 11. Jordan Cambridge, 6 for 20. Iona Moore was their best player today with 25 points, but took 19 shots. They missed a lot of bunnies around the basket and missed a lot of floaters, and some of them badly in ways that we hadn't really seen all season. Just a bad day for Vanderbilt women's basketball in just about every sense of the word, Elena.
Yeah, it just felt like any time that they could get themselves open under the basket, they would miss wide open layups and they would miss open shots. And then, you can't really help when Tennessee's making contested shots. They were making things really difficult inside and out. And then it seemed that any time the Vanderbilt, could get some momentum going, Tennessee would just turn around and score and completely kill that by getting a wide open shot. And so it just seemed like there was a lack of effort on the defensive end, and it just translated into getting down by a lot on offense. And it was just felt kind of like the LSU game a little bit. They started out really slow, and Tennessee just jumped ahead really fast before Vanderbilt could even try to catch up, and that's why they lost by 25 points today.
Yeah, and you even look at the end of the game when Vanderbilt went on that scoring drought, or at least field goal drought to end the game. I think Tennessee was just bigger, faster, stronger, and no one personified that more than Rickea Jackson today, who had 24 points, 11 for 15 from the field, and Shea Ralph said they were trying to stop her from catching it on the elbow. She caught it on the elbow, tried to stop her from getting downhill. She got downhill. And when you have a player like that against a team that's undersized like this and has to throw a few different defenders at a player like that, it's going to be really difficult to get stops. And it reminds me of yesterday with Dalton Connect, where first it was Isaiah West on him, then it was Tyron Lawrence, and then Ezra Magnon went on him for a few possessions. Just no answers for a player like that. And I think that's where Vanderbilt and a team like this are separated, and that's why Vanderbilt's probably not going to be an 8 or a 9 seed. And that's why it's going to have to be a bubble team, because I think they play well together. I think they have a few good older players who know how to win, but they just don't have kind of that alpha dog, all-SEC type player. Maybe Iona Moore gets it, maybe Sasha Washington does, but there's just a different level of talent on some of these teams, and Vanderbilt's going to have a hard time overcoming that. Obviously, Michaela Blaise coming in next year can maybe be an answer to that. They're going to have a lot of players back next year if that culture is really as strong as we think it is. But, again, talent differential was pretty clear to me again today.
I mean, yeah, talking about Rickea Jackson, she's projected to potentially be top 5 in the WNBA draft. So she's somebody that is one of the best basketball players in America. And, it seems like anytime they try to find a new answer, they were already falling so far behind by putting different players on her. And you talk about why Vanderbilt's a bubble team, and now that they've played this game and we know the outcome was a loss, I think that they have an idea of what they need to do in their last 3 games. 2 of them are on the road. If you win 2 of them, you're 8-8 in conference play, and I don't know if there's ever been a time, at least of what I've heard, that they don't put a team at 500 in the SEC, not in the NCAA tournament, but you'd have to think you'd feel a lot more comfortable if you just went out, which I think that this team is more than capable. They're not going to go play anybody like South Carolina or LSU. They're going to go play at Arkansas, which they play on Sunday. So they've got a whole week off, which is good, definitely good for their recovery. And then they play at Missouri, which was a game we've talked about they should have had that one back, losing that at home. And then they've got one more home game. It's their last of the year, and that's Georgia. And imagine, they're going to want to win that as senior day here at Vanderbilt. And, they just showed that they could beat Georgia on the road as well.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a path to the tournament here still. There's definitely a path to them winning all 3 of those games. I think if the tournament were to start today, the SEC tournament, they would play Arkansas, right? So that's 4 winnable games. You got to get at least 2, probably 3 to get in the tournament. 2's dicey to where you're relying on other teams to do some good things, but either way, you're getting to 20 wins, and I think that's a real step forward for this program. We're going to see how big that step is, though, and how much they really have to build off of moving forward here. Again, just this weekend, bad for Vanderbilt athletics as a whole. We'll see if Vandy baseball, who's up 5-1 now on Florida Atlantic in the 5th, can maybe salvage that a little bit, but bad weekend for Vandy hoops, and I think there's been a lot of those recently. Vanderbilt's, 3-7 in its last 10, Vanderbilt women's, so got some digging to do here, but the schedule lets up a bit, and I think Shea Ralph's team can maybe string something together moving forward and make a late push towards the NCAA tournament. Again, you talk about the SEC schedule, but non-conference play is really going to help them as well.
Yeah, I think that, if you've got a coach like Shea Ralph, she definitely, has the ability to get them back on the right path. And 2 is dicey. I think you're right. That puts you at 21 wins in the regular season. I think maybe a little bit more of a stronger non-conference play would have helped them. I think their best win was probably Iowa State, who's also a bubble team. So there's not one that sticks out. They only played one really high-caliber team in the non-conference play, which is number 3 at the time, NC State. They lost that game on the road, although that one was close. But 3 wins will solidify it a little bit more. That puts you at 22 in the regular season. And if they could win a SEC tournament game or even 2, that would help them a lot.
Definitely. I'm Joey Dwyer. She's Elena Morris. We're here from Memorial Gym. Thank you guys for watching. Billy and I will have our rapid reaction to the baseball series out in probably an hour or 2, so be tuned in for that, and be tuned into Elena's coverage the rest of the season. Thank you guys for watching again. God bless. Peace.